And verse 11 and 12 says, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. 12 says, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man, child in your generation, he that is born in the house, or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. Then verses 23 and 24. It says, and Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Okay, I've read verse 24, but let me actually start from 23. It says, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the same day as God has said unto him. You could see the level of obedience. At the age of 99, a man had to go through circumcision. And that was the time God actually visited him to confirm the promise. That means that was when his obedience was complete. God had to step in and say, it is time for me to act upon my word. And obedience born out of a true circumcision of our hearts, committed to God and committed to God and to God alone. Committed to God and to God alone. Let's look at Genesis chapter 12 verses 1 to 4, just to see about Abraham, who this man is. In Genesis 12, 1 to 4, I read, now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. Verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. This was at the age of 75. We could see the level of obedience. Leave and move into the planned land I'm going to talk to you about. Obedience. So he has been living an obedient life, but at a point God said no. There are still a few things that need to be. So for us, we need to check our lives. What are those other things that God is demanding that I do for me to be taken to that place of divine settlement? We need to walk with God. And may I tell you, between chapter 12 and chapter 17 was a period of 24 years. Chapter 12 to chapter 17 was a period of 24 years. We can read chapter 12 to 17 in 10 minutes, 30 minutes. But that experience for Abraham was a period of 24 years of still waiting for God. And then 24 years after, God showed up and said, Abraham, you need to come to this point where you need to go through circumcision. Then it was the circumcision of the flesh, the foreskin. But God is talking to us about the circumcision of our heart. Our heart has to be right with him and be committed to him. Telling him that we have no alternative. If God cannot take us there, nobody else can. If you are here tonight and you have alternatives in your mind, that don't worry, we'll just do the church. You know, we may be Christian, but you don't know. Everybody is just doing it. Everybody is doing something. But may I tell you something? There's no alternative to God. If there was, some of us won't be here tonight. Because there's no need waiting. When we quick fix somewhere else. But we need to wait for God. We need to wait for God. We need to wait for God. And as we do this, God will show up for us. Lord, don't be discouraged. You don't put yourself under undue pressure by looking at what is happening around you. Others are having it easy. Others are having it smooth. When you are saying, why me? You see, when you get to that point, in the corner of your room, let God see your tears. And when he has wiped away that tears, celebrate again, because he's taking you to a place of fulfillment. That's what only God and God alone can do. Men can only help and encourage and pray with you, but it's God himself that will perform it. Let's go to the fourth one. We do not need to maneuver our ways. We do not need to resort to self-help. We cannot. We cannot resort to self-help in any way. But we need to depend on God to take us into that land of promise, to take us into that place of settlement. Because we need to pray tonight. Let's quickly look at Genesis chapter 13. I'll read verses 8 to 10. I just want us to see a story that we are familiar with. We do not need to maneuver our ways, but we do not need to resort to self-help. We need to be committed to God. Verse 8 to 10. So Abraham said to Lot, please let there be no strife between you and me, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Okay, verse 9. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I go to the right. Or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left. Verse 10. And Lot lifted up his eyes and saw all the plain of Jordan, and that it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as you go towards Zoar. This was Lot that Abraham took along with him at the age of 75 when he was living to the land God had promised, the land of Canaan. This was a small boy. But Lot had suddenly become big, and he was also thriving in his business. And the workmen for Lot were having issues and challenges with the workmen for Abraham. Abraham, though, was the one that set Lot in the place of business. He did not take it upon himself to maneuver his way. He did not resolve to self-help. He waited for God to bless him. The Bible says it is a blessing of the Lord that makes rich and does not add sorrow. So he said we cannot quarrel, we cannot fight, we cannot break family ties. He says, come Lord, I give you the opportunity of first refusal. Look at this land is so wide. Pick whether you go to the right, I will go to the left. If you will go to the left, I will go to the right. And we know what happened. Lot looked, and he saw the good portion, and he went for the good portion. How many of us will do that and allow and be in the position of Abraham and say, okay, I will close my eyes, let him take the best, and I know I set him up in business. Abraham did not resort to self-help, but he depended on God and he waited on God. You saw the last verse. I said, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, the land Lot went into with his properties and he multiplied wealth, that land was destroyed. How many things did Lot take out of that land? When God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, how many things did God take out of that land? It was Abraham that stood in the place of interceding for the people in Sodom and Gomorrah, interceding for Lot. He didn't just lose properties, he lost his wife there. We do not need to resort to self-help. Let us wait for God. God will settle us. That land may not look green today. The situation may not look good today. But you know something? When we stand and wait on God, God will turn things around. What no man can do, He has done it all for me. That is why I testify. I serve a very big God. Oh.
What no man can do, He has done it all for me.
That is why I testify. I serve a very big God. Are you sure you serve a very big God? I serve a very big God. I'm comforted. I'm comfortable because I have God by my side. I do not mind whatever I'm going through and whatever I've gone through. He has taken me out of situations like this in the past. And I'm confident that He will take me out of this again. I might have been displaced from my place of promise. I might have been displaced from my place of inheritance. But I know that God Himself in His mercy will settle me. And He will do it by Himself alone. That which no man can do, God will do for you. You are seated here and you are thinking in your heart, when will God do it? I'm growing older. I'm advancing in age. But this has delayed for long. 5 years is gone. I've not had a job. 8 years is gone. I've not had the job. My colleagues are doing so well. I'm not married. My colleagues are doing so well. I've not attained this. My colleagues are doing this. No, man. No, sir. I just encourage you tonight. Wait upon the Lord. The Lord himself will take you to that place of settlement. The Lord himself will take you to that place of fulfillment. When God does it, it will marvel you. It is only God. And that's why I said, for me, I have no other person to fall on to. Bible says the help of man is vain. But I know the help of God I can do valiantly. I know it is only God that can take me to the place of promise, to the place of settlement. And it's God alone that will do it. Abraham waited for 25 years before he received that promise. I pray that I do not have to wait for that long. I pray that you do not have to wait for that long. But my prayer for you is that you will wait for God and will not seek alternative. You will wait for God and you will not do that which will make God happy. You will wait for God so that you can have a